Alright everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So there's a lot of upcoming market events that are all going to be happening within this week. So in this episode, This Week in Crypto, I'm going to be diving in and letting you know in 5 minutes or less all of the key market events that are going to be happening this week. Let's dive right into this. So starting off with Monday, not a lot to report. Bitcoin is closing below the 200-week moving average on the weekly time frame. We've got the stock market opening up. Stock market indices like the Nasdaq, SPY are all opening bearish to start off with the week. And you've got your key tech stocks like Google, Tesla, Facebook, Coinbase, all of them are heading down very, very harshly on Monday. Tuesday, we've got Google and Microsoft earnings. So Google's currently down about 29%, and it is estimated to have some positive earnings coming into the 26th of July. Also, like I said, we've got Microsoft coming in. They're also about 26.5% down from their all-time high. Also expecting some very, very positive earnings coming in tomorrow. If we zoom into Wednesday, we've got, very importantly, the FOMC meeting coming in at 6 o'clock UTC time, followed up by Jerome Powell's news conference half an hour later. Then we're going to wrap up the day with Facebook Meta earnings. So we've literally got, as of the time of recording this, probably by the time I post this, about 1 day and 20 hours until our next FOMC meeting. Then Jerome Powell will come out for probably about an hour talking about monetary policy, talking about everything that they normally talk about after the Fed meeting. Nothing new here. This happens almost every single time. Then we've got Facebook down 56.6%, also expecting some decent positive earnings coming in for this quarter. Now, zooming out, Facebook is in a 56.6% dump. This is the most brutal dump that it's had since 2012. So Facebook and some of the other tech stocks have definitely seen prettier days. Coming into Thursday, this is probably the most important day of the week. You've got US Q2 GDP report, followed up by Amazon and Apple earnings. The main takeaway from Thursday is obviously going to be the US Q2 GDP report. Make sure you write this date down, 28th of July at 12:30 UTC time. Previously, in our Q1 of GDP, we got negative GDP. We actually got negative GDP by 1.6%. That is what the real GDP decreased by. If we do once again get negative GDP, for those of you who aren't economists and understand what that means for the markets, a back-to-back series of 2 quarters with negative GDP growth is what is the definition of a recession. So if we do get negative GDP, we are going to be in a recession. How do you think that's going to make the markets feel? Investor confidence, investor sentiment, all of these things are going to be diminished as money inevitably flows back out of these markets as people panic. So one of the most important days, once again, 28th at 12:30 UTC. Write this down. This is going to be a crazy, crazy day. Then obviously we're going to follow up the evening with the Amazon and Apple earnings. Amazon is currently down about 35%. Let's check out its earnings. Its earnings are meant to be very, very flat, but nonetheless in the positive for these in terms of their positive revenue. Almost all of the stocks that we've looked through so far as well look like they're going to open their post-market tomorrow bearish. So that is also something to note. It looks like we want to dump negatively into this. Apple is down 16% from its previous all-time high after having a massive bounce back from the floor. It's meant to have some pretty decent earnings coming in over on the 28th. Then we come into Friday and we have our PCE. Now, a lot of people may not have even heard of PCE. Your PCE is very similar to your CPI. They're basically both measures of inflation. This is the Personal Consumer Expenditures Price Index. Now, this is the index that is preferred by the Fed. Mainly, when we're talking about PCE, we're not necessarily too interested in PCE because PCE and CPI are very, very similar. They're basically basket measures of inflation. PCE is more tailored towards goods and services, whereas CPI, and predominantly talking about core PCE and core CPI tends to focus, or the categories being food and energy are much more prominent in these. And as energy and food prices can be extremely volatile, you can see core CPI, there's moments where core CPI CPI is miles and miles above the core PCE, and then it completely diminishes all the way beneath this. And you can see, you know, looking at the core PCE, this is just slowly up, down, up, down, up, down, but mainly sideways. And then you see the core CPI exponentially is above it, exponentially below it, above, below, above. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how core PCE is coming out. I'm not necessarily too interested in how PCE is out. We basically have our FOMC meeting coming out in 1 day and 20 hours. We're going to have a lot of updates on the monetary policy there. They're going to talk about, are they raising the interest rates? They're going to let us know why. They're going to let us know what they see in the CPI numbers, what they see in inflation. Do they see it continuing? And this is far more important than PCE in of itself, but nonetheless, I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes on the core PCE, as if this does exponentially run to the upside, then it's definitely going to be another nasty measure, letting us know that inflation has not yet topped, and subsequently interest rates are probably going to continue to run rampant, at least for the next couple of months. So that is all I've got with what is going on in the markets for this week. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you are interested, or if you do like this type of format where in 5 minutes or less I do just run through everything that is going to be upcoming in the week for the crypto markets, let me know down below. That's all I've got for you today, and as always, my friends, cowboy out. Peace.